Wholeness means to me being in a state of joy.
Wholeness means feeling complete, owning my authentic gifts.
Wholeness is really connected. Everything is connected to everything.
Wholeness is where we have access to all parts of ourselves.
The card that we picked is called Insight through the deck. Here's the deck. When the soul whispered, this is what the deck looks like. And this is what it says about insight. It's got this peacock. So the quote is, "Discovery is the journey, insight is the destination." So it says, it can sometimes be difficult to find true insight into a person or situation. It is easy to become distracted by the details that blind you from delving into the heart of the matter. If you are trying to gain a better understanding of something in your life, instead of looking at the details one by one, consider how the picture comes together as a whole. When you concentrate too hard on one particular thing, you run the risk of obstructing your view of the bigger picture. Insights allows your mind to become open to all the possibilities. Do not force the elements to suit your ideal narrative. Instead, use your observation as a barometer for measuring the climate of the situation, not to forecast a certain outcome. The more you allow your mind to be open, the more you will allow insight and awareness into your conscious thought. And the light is aware, realize, open, and receptive. And the sacred words are, as I open my mind to possibilities, the world opens my eyes to the truth. And the eye of the peacock feather is the symbolic of your third eye. Both your third eye and your mind must remain open if you wish to receive clear and concise insight. But what I thought was interesting as I read that is, like, we're going to talk about music today. And it talked about, don't look at the individual things. You got to look at the bigger picture. And I just thought of, that's the thing. You don't just hear one note and know what song it is. You know what I mean? Like you get the music to you have to wait for the whole song to be over and then receive to get the benefit of the song. Right. And I think that's kind of interesting and also to be insightful. Look, that's the thing about this with music is it's like, be intentional with how you interact with music, that it feeds your soul and works with you in a way that supports you. I think that's an important part. But if you listen sometimes, so a while back when I was, in a dark night of the soul, I had some songs that would come on the radio. There were times when it was so dark. It was like I would go for a ride in the car and it was like, if I don't hear that song, I don't know what's going to happen. It was just dark. And so these songs became so important for me to hear them. I remember the one time pulling into the garage afterwards and the song comes on, and it was just like, okay, wow. I can keep going, I can keep going. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't know, I'm not saying or else, but yeah, it kind of felt that way a little bit. It was like, I don't know what else, how I can keep going, it was just difficult. So music has always been kind of one of those mirrors for my life, or one of those things that I can turn to for support, or they have just such meaning to me. And so I've wanted to do this podcast for a while, just to kind of touch on some of these, how music has just touched my life and been meaningful for me. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I loved the way you, when we were talking, you had some insights too about music, and I just loved that.
Yeah, my mom is a musician, and so I was kind of trained as a child that was going to be part of my life. And I don't know if my mom hadn't been a musician, if I would have. But where I grew up in 5th grade, you picked an instrument and started playing. And I'd had piano before that. I didn't love it, but it actually set me up for playing an instrument really, really well. And I played the flute all through my school years into a little bit of college. And so music was a big, big part of my life. Spent a lot of time playing in different groups and performing, practicing a lot and not practicing a
Yes.
lot. I think I was not a great student in some ways, but that's every child, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
How many times did I forge? I could forge my dad's signature on my practice cards better than my mom's.
What did you play?
I played the violin. I started the violin at 5, and then I moved
At
over
5,
in
did
5th grade.
Suzuki? Did you do Suzuki method?
Yep, I did.
Wow.
And then in 5th grade, I moved over to the cello because I had learned to read, or I hadn't learned to read music. In Suzuki, it's all about hearing, play by ear. And so when you would put a song in front of me, I couldn't read the notes, but once I heard it, then something else would take over and I could play it, but it wasn't reading the notes. Do you know what I mean? So like when you started to go into orchestra and things like that, it didn't work because it was like, okay, pull up the sheet music, everybody start playing. And I'd be like, what? So I moved over to cello to kind of start from scratch, and it didn't work. A couple, by the time 3 years in, I was just right back to playing by ear. And it was so stressful. It was super stressful. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I did.
Cello is beautiful.
It's so pretty. So pretty. Yeah. I mean, if I picked one up today and played, I could play certain songs, if I heard it. It's weird. I mean, it would take a long time. I mean, that's probably not true. It's been a long time since I've played, but it was weird
Some
how
of those pathways you make for music when you're little, like at 5, I bet you probably would be surprised by what you could play.
Yeah, I still have my little violin. I should get it. I should take a picture of it.
That.
Yeah, I have my little baby 5-year-old violin.
Oh gosh. That makes me so happy.
A couple of quotes that came up that I thought was really great was, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. That's from Plato. I really thought that was powerful. And then Elton John, this was a great quote. He said, music has healing power. It has the ability to take people out of themselves for a few hours. And I think that's true. It transcends what you're going through. And in fact, today I was running errands, I'm feeling a little bit, and I just okay, I've got to pop my AirPods in, turn on some music that part of me wants to listen to something that's going to get me kind of railed up or something like that. But I was like, no, I need to so I actually I looked up a cord cutting thing, and I listened to that as I'm walking around in the store, and it helps. It was just much better. It shifts your thoughts really easy. But we've been talking about grounding, and music is a really good grounding. It really does bring you down to that center place and helps you unwind. And music also helps you regulate emotions. I mean, that's the thing about music is it can match where you're at. So if I want to pump myself up, so easy to turn on some music and go, and it does it for you. Or if I need to calm down, you turn on that kind of music and you can match, it matches where you need to be and where you are. And that's just a gift that I think we just need to stop and recognize for a minute. And then it can help us focus. They've done studies on people that take tests and things with certain music, and it can really help us get into that state. And it's also, I think, a physical connection. That's something new for me. I learned in my shamanic class, we did a lot of drumming, and it's not necessarily about the sound you make, but the vibrations you feel on your body. And it feels so good. If you've never been to a drum circle where they drum you or had somebody drum you, it just feels really good to have that music. Right. So that's a different way of experiencing music. It's not just with the ears, and that's why I think it's so powerful.
Like a sound bath, right? And I know that's not typically like drum. That's more like the crystal bowls.
Still music, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a bath. It somehow washes, washes away what you don't need.
Yeah.
So I think when I've been drummed, that's exactly how it feels for me.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It feels it's like a massage for your soul. It feels so good. And I would have been so judgmental. My old self would have been so judgmental of that and been like, I don't even know. That's weird, but I hadn't experienced it. As soon as I experienced it, I went, got it. It's just, it's really helpful. music is always helpful for memory and association. Like I don't know about you, but I'll be like, oh, I remember, like the song will come on and I'm like, I remember where I was at, or this memory shows up and that kind of thing. Music's like that. And it's also good for routine and ritual. Like music just shifts a ritual into something else. It just kind of, whether we want the ritual to build us up again and make us kind of invigorate us, or whether it wants to bring us down and the music's the part that can really shape that, like we've talked about before. And
do you
also,
remember the Barney cleanup song?
yes, totally. We sang it all the time.
I know. When I taught preschool, like that was a definite signal to everybody of what we were doing next. And like you said, you probably still sing it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yep. We make it a joke. I think it's funny. And I think also, music is a therapy. There's an expression, Elise talks about, I think she talked about on the episode a couple back, talked about, like if you give a little kid a drum and say, tell me how you feel, and they can share with you, even at a really young age, what's happening inside of them by music, by letting you know what music is happening, because again, it matches us. So they use that a lot in therapy. It's like music, like just let it out, like freak out, or however you want. You talked a little bit about words have more meaning when they're put to music. Do you remember when we had that conversation? You were like, it's like you can, like, it's poetry, but when you add the music, it becomes so much deeper, or we're able to take it in differently. It's just more meaningful.
It hits different for sure than just words.
Right?
I remember watching Can't Buy Me Love and thinking, I want to be that girl. I want to love poetry. And it never quite caught on. But the music part, when you put music to words, that catches me and I can feel it and understand it.
Yeah. Yes. Pablo Casals, which I don't know who that is, but he says music is the divine way to tell beautiful, poetic things to the heart. And I thought that was good, true, because it's true. I think it just transcends all the bodies, right? Music can just cut the intention of it, the beauty of it, the message of it, it can transcend all those four bodies in a way that not very many other things do. It's just really powerful. Yeah.
Then there's a quote by Hans Christian Andersen that says, "Well, words fail, music speaks." And for someone that told stories, I think that's really powerful.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So I was watching an episode of Doctor Who. I've never really watched it, the old ones. I mean, it's been going on for how many years? Since the 70s, I think.
I think so.
This is a newish one, and it has time travel, and I'm total geek for time travel. And they wanted to go back and see when the Beatles were, I don't know if it was Abbey Road or what, but when they were going to record one of their albums, and somehow something got messed up. It's science fiction, and someone stole, I think it was chords. So everything was just a simple melody. There was nothing more to that. And what happened is, and I don't really know if there's science to back this up, but they went forward back to the regular time. So from the 60s back to the 2000s, and it, like, nothing was left. Like there had been an apocalypse. And I think the point they were trying to make was music is so essential to our lives that if we don't have it, we won't be able to exist. And like I said, I don't have the science to prove that that could really happen, but it's an interesting thing to think about, and how I think a lot of people could agree if they didn't have music in their life, it would look very different. It would feel very different.
I think you're right. I think you're right. They talk about, you've heard the stories of like music calms the savage beast, or music is the mathematics of the universe, something like that. It's like, it does add to our lives in a really, it tells the story, if we don't speak the same language, but we hear the same music, you can almost understand, you can almost communicate in a deeper way. So I think that it's true. I think we don't even know what life would be like if we didn't have music. It's like no flowers on any trees or bushes or anything like that. Like it's really the beauty that kind of brings things, kind of tells a story in our lives that it's just kind of in the background, but really, really vital to who we are, I think.
I think so. And as you were saying that kind of in the background, there's a piece of music, and I forgot to research the exact name, but it's called like 3 minutes, 42 seconds or something like that. And this guy sits down at a piano. He comes out on stage, and everyone knows this is a song he's going to perform. Nobody's ever heard it before. And literally nobody's ever heard it before because he just sits and he's quiet for 3 minutes. And he basically is trying to prove that all the noises around us are their own form of music. And I love thinking about what the music is like around me, especially in the morning. Do you hear birds singing in the morning? I mean, not in winter. That's its own kind of magic sound when there's kind of no sound. But I try to listen sometimes, just sit back and think, well, what would my 3 minutes, 42 seconds be right now? And just listen for a few minutes.
I love that. Just to, call the sounds music. I think that's really beautiful, because I remember in my very first Reiki session, being told that, I will hear everything in your space right now. If you were to actually pay attention, a lot of information's coming in through the ears, right? But we don't hear all of it. We don't listen to it all. We might hear it, but we don't listen. And sometimes there are messages in those sounds around us that we can stop and pause and just receive for a minute, whether it's the sprinkler outside or the birds chirping in the windows or whatever it is. There's the world, the earth does create music for us. And I love that word. That's from you, that we can call it music, like it's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Some songs as I was thinking about some songs that have been meaningful for me, and like they change, right? But these are some in the last few years that I just think, man, the message of these songs, these songwriters, they just are speaking deep truths, and I just wanted to highlight some of those that have been part of my life. They've spoken deeply to me, at least. And I'm going to make a playlist of these on Spotify. So you'll look for the Wholeness Network music podcasts, Spotify playlist, and you'll be able to hear all these things. Cause I just think, if you can listen with these with his intention, there's just such beauty. And so I want to point them out. I want to point out the beauty, a little bit of it. But the first one is a song by Regina Spektor. It's called Loveology. And it's just the sweetest little song, but oh my gosh, when I sit and listen to it, I think this is so powerful. So the song kind of is cut up into two parts. And the first part, she just says, she's talking about this, like probably her husband, and just kind of like, you're a beautiful human, and let's go off and play and all this stuff, kind of a thing. It's just really light and gentle. And then there's this moment in the song where it's like, she talks a little bit, and we went to this concert, so it was kind of cool to see it live. And she said, okay, class, listen up, and then she starts going into this, all these words that end in ology, and it's the idea is that we the first half of our lives, or even in the blissful moments of a relationship, we think we have it all. And then, it's a school, it's a lesson. Relationships are there to teach us some things. Loveology, the study of love has a lot to teach us. And she says, just to quote some of hers, some of the lyrics, she says, loveology, mamaology, papaology, youology, meology, loveology, kissology, stayology, pleaseology, I'm sorryology, forgive meology, loveology. And that's just a little snippet, but you realize that everything in our lives is a teacher, it's a teacher. And this song just speaks so well. And then at the end, it kind of brings both halves of those together. And we have this human part, and the human part is learning through loveology, through all the things that love brings to our lives. And it's just really a powerful song. So go listen to it. It's really good. Regina Spektor.
Dang. I you could spend a half an hour explaining that concept of the school and all of that, but you could listen to that song and in 3 minutes or however long the song is, like
Yeah.
you've got it.
Yep.
That is a really cool concept. I love
It's
that.
so powerful. It's just everything in our lives is a teacher. So anyway, I can listen to the song. It just feeds my soul every time I hear it because I think this is our lives. This is how we work. All right.
Yeah.
Another song is Stupid Deep by John Belliam. And I at the end of, we would have like sections in this live class I did, and each section I would end with a song that I thought was meaningful. And this is one of the songs. And I remember somebody raised their hand. They're like, I don't get this song, and I was like, are you kidding me? You don't get the song? So this is my chance to explain. This is my chance to explain. So here's the lyrics of Stupid Deep. It says, what if who I hoped to be was always me? And if the love I fought to feel was always free? What if all the things I've done were just attempts at earning love? Yeah, because this hole inside my heart is stupid deep. Okay, so that little section's like, what if I'm really all that I want to be? What if I'm, hustling for something I don't need to hustle for? What if I'm already enough, right? And there's this hole that's stupid deep inside of me, But then he says, what if where I've tried to go was always here, and the path I've tried to cut was always clear? Why has life become a plan to put some money in my hand when the love I really need is stupid cheap? And if you listen to the whole song, it's just kind of an inner dialogue with himself. Like, what if I'm enough? What if what I've been looking for out there really exists in here? What if I'm that so deep, like, and the word stupid deep, because you got to be, that's like a play on words. It's stupid deep. Like, I am stupid deep, meaning I'm so deep. It's, it's a slang. It's so deep. A stupid deep is a way of saying like it's way deep, but, and so anyway, it's just a stupid. And so, I think to myself, if people really, to me, what if we understood that? What if everything we think is out there really exists in here? What if the things I'm hustling for out there don't matter? You know what I mean? What if what's in here is really the most important thing? And every time I listen to that song, I just think, oh man, people, this is a key, people. This is truth. Let this truth go to your soul, that at some point you will to accept yourself is your own journey. Nobody can hand that to you. Nobody can feel that stupid deep hole but yourself. We're outside trying to do some things. Okay. Another song, it's a remake of Both Sides Now. It was originally by Joni Mitchell, but I actually have heard it lately. Josh Groban, he did a remake of it with Sarah Bareilles. They have this duet that they do. And this song, I know you need to listen to the song. Like, it is.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah. I sent it to you, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they showed it in a TV show, and I was watching it, just sitting in the tub, crying my eyes out because someone had died. But like, the death scene would not have been the same without that song.
Mm-hmm.
That song just made it so much more real to me.
Yep. And I think people, I tease because I'm like, I love being around wounded people because I get you. You know what I mean? And this song talks about that, like, rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I looked at clouds that way, like everything was just wonderful and beautiful in this life. And then, but now they only block the sun. They rain, they snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. And, I mean, that's just been the truth for me. Like, you think, oh, everything's wonderful, everything's fine. And then some complexity comes in it. And now it's like, wait, what? Now this cloud that used to be for fun is now hurting, in a way, or causing pain or frustration. And I think, to me, the journey, I think, as we grow older, as we start to move into complexity, is to be able to allow both sides now to exist, to allow, we might have to work to see the flows of angel hair, the ice cream castles everywhere, but they're still there, but now it becomes a type of agency in order to see it, rather than it just, oh, that's all nice. We invoke our choice, and we also allow the clouds to, when they're raining, you know what I mean? When they're snowing, they're snowing, and not trying to, when it's snowing and raining, we're not trying to make them, yeah, but there's angel clouds there. No, they're not, and it's kind of allowing and choosing at the same time, and making that complex, junction in those kinds of moments in our whole life, I think, really for me. And I, also in the song, but now old friends, they're acting strange. They shake their heads and tell me that I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day with those both sides now, and I think that's true too. Like, when you start to have these complex moments, when things start to shift and grow and transcend, we do, with people that aren't in that same boat, give us those weird looks, right? It feels strange. They think we're strange and we think they're strange. And that's a whole nother cloud, right? Right? Okay. Yes. Okay. There's a couple of these. I'm sneaking in 2 for 1. There's 2 songs by Alanis Morissette. One is, just quickly, I want to say, because it's just, it's just meaningful. And it's so funny because, so it's called Thank You. Thank You by Alanis Morissette. And we were driving in the car once and I'm listening to the song, and the whole song's just thank you this, thank you that, and it's all the difficult things. Thank you, it's not just thank you, la la la. It's thank you for the difficult things. And I remember my husband's like, what? And he was having this moment like, why would you be thankful for that? And I'm like, that's the whole point of the song, is everything has shaped you, the difficult things, and the good things. They have shaped you. And although you don't just say, we're going to look at the fluffy clouds when it's storming. We're not just going to pretend, we're not going to force something to be what it's not, but we're also grateful for the rain. You know what I mean? There's also pieces that we become grateful for. So that was just a quick song. And then this new song, I think it became really popular during the pandemic when she was singing it online, or on a show. I think it was on the Today Show or something, Alanis Morissette, but she was holding a little girl and she was like trying to sing. Do you remember seeing that at all? It was so cute. Her little girl's just there and she's, being a mom needing to sing, and it's the pandemic. So she's singing from home, and it's really a beautiful song. And I'm guessing, I think she wrote it. I'm pretty sure she wrote it. And you can tell it's just a love song to her kids. It's a love song to her children, but it is so powerful because the first line of the song is, first thing that you'll notice is some separation from each other. Yes, it's a lie we've been believing since time immemorial. There was an apple, there was a snake, there was division, there was a split, there was a conflict in the fabric of life. One became 2, and then everyone was out for themselves. Everyone was pitted against each other. Conflict ruled the realm. All of our devotions and temperaments are pulled from different wells. We seem to easily forget we are made of the same cells. And when I shared that was another song I shared at my event, and I told them, and I've done it a few times, I've talked about this song. I'm like, listen to it as if it is the divine talking to you, because she goes into each, she's like, my daughter, my son. And I just, it's so sweet. Like my daughter, I love, your complexity. I love the little fire you have in you, like all these things that of all of who you are. I love every part of it. I love this angry parts. I love the happy parts, and that's what I really invite people to do, is to listen to that song as if it's being sung to you, and feel the depth of that. Because the beginning of the song is that, we buy into this lie that we're separate. And that's where things started to go a little crazy, is the moment we decided we are separate beings. We are all beloved. We are all one, right? We're all together. All right. Last song. is fairly new. This song is it's by I'm trying to think. It's in the last I think it's in the last year it just came out. And when I listened to it, let's see, songs. Hold on. Okay. This song Invincible is by Eddie Vedder. So he's the singer of Pearl Jam. Do you know Pearl Jam? Remember that from the days?
Oh yeah. I'm
right?
old enough to catch that.
Yeah, you got the Pearl Jam. And this song, it just happened to come on, was on my playlist, like here's the newest song, and this is the last one that I'll just talk about, that it's just really powerful. The lyrics go, part of the lyrics are feeling wider than awake. Yeah, better crooked than straight. Invincible when we love, invincible when we love, invincible when we love. So there's a theory for everything. Resurrection to the big old bang. Rockmon enough to the excitement gang. We got the destiny of our beings, the unbearable weight, the unbearable light, the unbearable weight that let's lift it up. Ah, invincible. When we love, we are invincible. Okay, so there's a little bit more I want to quote, but just that this is the idea, is just, here we have all this, again, we have all these things. I have an opinion here. You have an opinion there. This might be some separation, but you know what? The answer is love. We are invincible when we love, when we choose love. And he says, at the core of the cosmos, we are so much more than particles. Sonic to the subatomic, you are a whisper and a scream. You are, we are, all part of this everything. Yeah, so feel important. We are invincible when we love. That one is just, it's one of those things where if we just really took the message of that and let it penetrate our soul, I think we would be kinder to each other. We would be kinder to ourselves. We would have more insights. When we accept who we are as these divine beings that the universe cares for and hopes for and wishes for, if we can really accept it, feel that stupid deep hole with that kind of thing, be grateful for what we have, see the both sides now, learn the lessons of loveology, we become that invincible because we help each other. There's no more effort in that. It becomes the natural place to go. The healing is able to happen because we have that for each other. We understand, because love, I recognize that your wound needs love, that kind of thing. So those are my songs that I just want to just highlight for their message and for their influence on me, and hopefully on you, really. Hopefully on you.
Well, and I love that. And if I know you a little bit, and some of your core values, and I know that connection is a huge core value of yours. And looking in those songs, most of those songs are about connection. So I can totally see why those are some of your favorites. And also the authenticity part. You really like authenticity. And I can totally see why those songs are meaningful to you. I love those. I think I know one of them. So
Yeah.
I got some homework. You always give me good homework.
They're pretty obscure.
I don't mind watching movies or listening to songs for homework.
Yeah, there's nice. I mean, they're pretty obscure songs. They're not the ones that are out there, but boy, they're just powerful. They're just a few. I could name 10 more, but I limited it to 3 or to 5, which really 6 because I put it in there. But yeah, I love this is these songs I think are just really can really unite us as humans. I just think it's much needed now.
Yeah, feel free to share all of those songs. I would love to know all of them.
Okay, I will.
So I will talk about some of the songs that are important to me, and it's interesting. I don't want to say interesting. I use that word too much. But as I was thinking about my songs, I was like, oh, maybe mine are just dumb. But it just came to me what I wanted to talk about, because I do feel like you. Like there's a million songs I listen to, and at different points in my life, they hit different than at other times. Or like you said, there's songs that show up at the right time.
Yes.
There is a song that shows up, and I would love if you want sometime, I might cut this out. Yeah. Little Drummer Boy, 2 years in a row. Every time I turned on the radio at Christmas time, it came on. I hate that song. I think the message of the song is great. I
Yeah.
hate the music. I think it's like just rudimentary, and I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
it. So
It's,
if,
it is
if
pretty
that tells me something about my
simple.
personality, I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want
Interesting.
to know.
Maybe you don't want to know. I get it though. I get it. I totally get it.
Okay. So as I was thinking about some of the music that's hit me, I was thinking back to marching band, and I talked about playing the flute, and marching band is a really big part of my high school career. And I understand that makes me a nerd, and I'm okay with that because it made me who I am today.
Right.
So, our band director chose our halftime performances based on movies and musicals the 4 years that I was in high school. And those became really almost anthems in my life of some of the songs that we played.
Yeah.
So I thought I would just go through some of the different shows that we did, or movies, and just talk about why it's meaningful to me now. So the first show we did my freshman year was Les Miserables, and
Wow.
I didn't know anything about Les Miserables, which that's a pretty powerful story, right? Like,
so powerful.
The French Revolution is a big deal. And I had a professor in college once that told me that as Americans, we owe everything to the French Revolution, because if the French Revolution hadn't happened, then that wouldn't have allowed the people here in America to fight for their freedom. I don't really know if that's true. That was her opinion, but there is some gravitas to that idea, as well as like Victor Hugo was like teaching us some really, really important things. He was challenging us. And I don't remember when that book was written, but he's asked us, like, okay, is it okay to steal if you're starving? Right. Is it
the complexity?
Okay
Yes. Yeah.
Is it okay to help somebody even though they're a bastard? Right. And that word's kind of strong, but like, I think a lot of people are like, well, they made a bad choice, so we shouldn't help them. But it was like, but they're a person. And I think that was kind of the whole theme of Les Miserables, was to see the person for the person rather than all of the stuff that they've done. And the song "Do You Hear the People Sing" is a song that it moves me every time I think about it. The people banding together to fight for something that they think is right and true, and I think love. I think you could probably even pare it down to that. That they just loved their fellow men so much that they felt like they wanted to band together to protect each other. And to this day, that, I don't want to say trope, but the theme of people banding together to fight for something that they believe in is very moving to me. And I think that started it all, is "Do You Hear the People Sing?" And I love that song.
Yeah, we were able to see that show in London, and it was just, it was so, it's very powerful. That whole show is just powerful. And it makes you, it just asks you questions that, there used to be easy answers to, right? You used to think you had those answers figured out, done. Yep. Got that figured out. And then all of a sudden, but what about this complexity? I love those kind of stories, of course.
Yeah, me too. And when you were saying that, it reminded me, like, I think the very last line of the whole musical is to love another person is to see the face of God.
Yeah.
Like he answered it. They answered the question. How do you know what to do? That's what you do. You just love somebody else.
Yes.
So that was my freshman year. My sophomore year was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And people make fun of it because of Kevin Costner, but I still like it.
Was it like every prom theme had that song? Like
Everything I Do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Love that song. But for me, more the song is the power, the movement, the energy that song gives you. So Disney, I don't think Disney originally had their hands on it, but they do now. And every adventure story that Disney does now, when they show the castle, they play the theme to Robin Hood. So it's dun 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 dun.
Oh, yep.
That song is played, and there's a lot of energy. There's excitement. It hypes you up for what's coming next.
Yeah.
I will remember that song forever. And it makes me so happy when I see that at the beginning of a Disney movie.
Was it like, when you think about these, do you remember learning how to play the music and the process of learning it, or is it something else that comes to your mind, or and?
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. I think about the shows that we did were a little bit not routine for a marching band. Like we kind of stepped outside of the box a little bit. We did a little bit,
Sounds like it.
acting, but there was emotion. There were very costumes that took you there. I feel like such a dork saying this. Okay. But
No.
like our drum majors were dressed like they were Robin Hood and from the movie and Maid Marian, and just the idea of like you're just stepping into this other version or this other, maybe it's my time travel idea, I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, it is the music, but it's also just like transporting me somewhere else. And I think that's what I really like about it. It takes me away, transports me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which leads me to my junior year, which was Jurassic Park. And John Williams is like the GOAT.
Right.
I love him. Whenever I would do a tryout, they would always ask me who my favorite composer was. And it was always John Williams. And then they would ask me why. And first of all, I was like, because I don't know very many composers' names. Was one of the first reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mozart and Beethoven.
Right.
And yeah. But he makes me feel things when I'm in his movies. Like Superman would not be Superman if you didn't have the theme of Superman, right? Dun, 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 dun. It takes you right there. You're like flying next to him. You know, Indiana Jones would not be Indiana Jones without the dun, 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 dun. Like those things take you places. And I don't know, it fills my soul. I have no other words for it besides it fills my soul. And so when Jurassic Park, that movie had come out, I think like the summer before we did it. And the excitement, okay, kids would watch that movie nowadays and laugh their heads off. But I remember seeing that movie and just the wonder of thinking like, could a dinosaur really, could I see it with my own eyes? And just the music that's played when you see that, like, it makes me think of that every time, that wonder and just being whisked away, like I said, to another place.
Totally.
That's the music I use to wake up from my alarm right now. My husband will hate it till the day he dies, probably. But
I love it. I love it. You're right. You're right. Those theme songs, yeah, they do transport you immediately. Yeah.
Like, remember The Holiday when Jack Black is like talking to her in the movie store?
Yes.
He's like, 2 notes can instill fear in like anybody that was born, you know, from 70.
Yep.
You know, the Jaws theme, like he just has a way about him. I just love it.
Yeah.
And then this is a little unique, but my senior year we did Gettysburg. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Like 94. Anyway, it was Civil War, and it was I've honestly only watched the movie one time. I know the music, but I don't know it very well. But the Civil War is I think sometimes we're living in a civil war.
Yeah.
Because people hold these ideals so true and they have all the answers to back up why they're right. And really it's just dividing people. It's not, nobody's winning.
Yeah.
And that music just makes me think about that, of like back to love, right? Like if we can just move outside of our rightness and love, and there's the song that sticks out in my mind was just a little song that they would sing as they were marching. It's called the Bonnie Blue Flag, which is probably Confederate. So I don't want to be controversial, but just a sweet little song that they used to sing just to get through the days, through the marches, through what they were asked to do as part of the military.
Interesting.
So
it was like their little anthem, kind of their anthem to center into what they were needing to focus on, kind of a thing. It was like
probably
yeah
maybe like their own version of meditation, I guess.
Yeah
They're marching. And then just the last thing I want to share, because I wanted to round it out at 5, was the musical Spirited. And Michelle knows I talk about this all the time, but that movie hit me at just the right time, and the lyrics in those songs, like even now I think about them and it chokes me up. Like, do you know many of the songs?
No, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, please do. And I can post them with your songs too, but The one is Am I Forever Unredeemable? And he just sings a song about like how horrible he felt like he was. Like he can't, there's nothing he can do to make up for the fact of how bad of a person he was. And just the song that he sings, like my soul was like, I could totally identify with the feelings that he had in that song. And I don't want to do any spoilers because it would make more sense if I did, but just go watch it.
Right. Now, is this the horse? Is this the horse animated horse one? Is that the show?
No.
Okay.
It has Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in it.
Okay. Christmas, like a Christmas thing.
Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I need to watch it.
And like every song in there, like I would just play it in my car, tears streaming down my face of like this. If my soul had the ability to write music, or my physical body, I guess, had the ability to write music, one or the other, I don't know. This is what it would have said.
Wow.
And anyway, people get sick of me talking about it, but it just, and maybe not everybody feels that way. I need to be okay with that, but it really means a lot to me, some of those songs.
Yeah. I love that. I think, that's the whole reason why I wanted to have this conversation, is just because, and I hope, listeners will share with us. I hope, our DMs are open on social media. Send us your stories of those songs that were so meaningful for you, those songs that just speak to you at a certain time, or that you love, or you hope for, and, and allow them to, kind of sing in your life. Let them be, what is it like? I think it was in The Holiday as well. I think it was in that movie where it's like, what is your like theme song or something, what is that called? Like your
anthem,
maybe, or anthem. Sorry, we can cut that out. That was dumb.
No,
I can't think of the word, but like, let the song, let figure out what your theme song is for your life, like allow just to open up and dream about what you want, and what does that, and that's the thing, is it's easier to put it to music, right? You can like, well, I want it to be this and this and this, some people want to have a very still music, and other people want to have very loud and strange. And okay, so in the library, there is Nacho Armani did this wonderful concert for us, and it's really, put your headphones in and listen to it. Let it feel your body. Also, there's a sound healing in the New Thought Series channel. And then, of course, make sure to catch the video or the podcast with Elise on sound healing, and just allow music to kind of be part of your day, to support you and just to lift you up or bring you down.
When most people are asked what they want, they will answer, I want to be happy. But happy takes practice. And that's what the Wholeness Library is all about. So check it out free at thewholenessnetwork.com.